Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're all having a great day. Ashley, great to see you in chat. Goji guy, thanks for the countdown. Great to see you as well. Doing something a little bit different for the live stream side of things today. Obviously, prior live streams have been like gaming stuff or like TV show coverage and things like that. So I figured let's get even nerdier today and let's cover some figures. So we get the San Diego Comic-Con announcements coming this past week of the 3 characters that we're getting, and they're going to have the actual reveal of those characters, what they look like, what they may come with. And I don't know if they'll give us price point. I feel like traditionally at these showcases, they've kind of kept that for afterwards because probably in all likelihood, it's going to be a high number that people aren't going to be a fan of. So that may be why they may not show that, but maybe they will. You never know. But it winds up starting in about 19 minutes now, but I figured I'd hop on a little bit early, talk about things a little bit, and share some convention pieces I have from years past as well. So let me I didn't think about doing this beforehand, but maybe I'll throw in some music just for some background stuff as well here. Let me try this. I have not, as I said, tested, so hopefully the volume's going to be decent. All right, so let's turn that down to right there. Let's see how that is. Maybe we'll drop it a little lower. Yeah. Maybe something like that. So not too loud, but throw in some music as well, just as we're talking. So appreciate anyone hopping in. Hopefully Bandai's cool with kind of doing a live stream reaction type thing. I figured why not? But just to kind of remind folks what we're going to be looking at today during the watch along, let me pull up the figure reveals that we did get, as I said earlier this week, which I do plan to do a video covering them. I did a short once we got kind of some leak information previously, but then we got the confirmation. So I'll probably do a video on the actual reveals sometime this week, I would guess. All right, so let's look at these. I guess we'll start here. So let me slide over here. Kind of one that maybe is a little bit off the grid for people, so we won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but we have a Godzilla figure here. There were some thoughts maybe they're going to expand beyond Dragon Ball for this year. I know they've kind of done a little bit of that previously, but not a whole lot. It's mostly been a Dragon Ball convention, and it seems like it's going to be mostly that as well this year. But they are going to have a Godzilla. They've typically had one Godzilla for the last few years, I feel like. This one, I mentioned this in a community post that I did, but this clearly looks like Godzilla -1. You can kind of tell by the spikes on his back, the shape of those, and the shape of his body as well. I'm assuming we're going to get some kind of variant of the Monster Arts Godzilla -1. I think they already have a regular and a minus color version. So maybe this will be like a battle damaged, or as I mentioned in my post, maybe like something with a heat ray maybe. We'll have to see with this one. They didn't even show us a photo, so that may be indicating that the actual skin will look a little bit different. We'll have to see there though. So for folks that are interested in Godzilla, definitely check this one out, and we'll see what it looks like when they wind up sharing that. Your favorite upcoming release? You're saying this Godzilla was? I mean, Godzilla -1 is probably, despite it being the newest, my favorite Godzilla movie. So I imagine this figure is going to be awesome. I do have, I don't know if you can really see him. It's a little tough to see. Back there, I'm trying to like move my head out the way. Right there, you can barely see it, but I have a Godzilla -1 statue. I did a review of it on the channel like right when I started the channel, so check that out if you're interested. But love -1. I haven't gone down the Monster Arts route. Prices for him have always been a little bit high, in my opinion. I know we're kind of getting that with every figure these days, but I feel like the Monster Arts have traditionally just started off pretty high. So let me tweak this a little bit. Hopefully let me know if the music's too much. It's hard for me to entirely tell. I dropped it a little bit. Maybe not that much. I'll make sure to turn it off when the actual stream starts. But so this is the first one we're getting. After that, we're getting the Grade 8 Vegeta. This is probably the one I have the most interest in. This is not a figure I have in my own collection, and there's not a whole lot different. I talked about in the short that I did, I think. I was hoping whenever we got this as a convention piece, potentially, they would make a little bit more paintwork done on the chest than what we see here. We'll have to see the actual reveal if there's anything done, but it seems like, I don't know, the blues maybe a little bit darker, and the shoulder pads and the armor are a little bit more like that darker brown yellowish color. So it just seems like a color variant. Obviously, that's kind of what we get with convention pieces. And this one, we'll have to see. That this is probably the most interesting price point that they'll give us, because I don't know what I would expect this guy to be. Like, is he going to be more than 200? Like, obviously, the Guru that we just got announced is like 310. This is cooler than Guru, in my opinion. So, I don't know. I think the original release was what, like 180, something like that? It was kind of prior to me jumping into this line. So, we'll see, though. I kind of would think maybe even... I think it'll be north of 200. Like, I could see 250. They only have 3 Dragon Ball figures this year. They've sometimes done 4, sometimes done 3. But I'm assuming they're going to be higher ticket items because there's less of them. So we got this guy. I have another photo we'll cover as well with him. Then we have the King Piccolo, or the Piccolo Daimao, whatever you want to call him. But Piccolo from the original Dragon Ball, essentially. This one surprised me because I thought they would do Dragon Ball this year, but I kind of lean towards Master Roshi because that's a character people really want to pick up. I don't think this Piccolo sold super well. Maybe they just mass-produced him, but I feel like I've seen him on sale a bunch of times. But maybe that means they had the mold ready to go. Who knows? But it's a cool figure, and there's another photo I'll show later that I think is probably going to intrigue a lot of people with him. But then after that, we have... I'm assuming this next one is what people are most interested in, is the Beast Gohan. So I actually have... I have him set aside here. I'll share that here shortly. But I have the original Beast Gohan. I also have the Majin Vegeta event exclusive that has the same kind of back piece, just a different color, with the lightning as well. But this guy looks awesome. I don't know if I necessarily need to pick him up because I do have the original. We'll see. I expect this guy to be like, I don't know, at least $100 is my guess. I feel like what was Majin Vegeta, like 80? But it seems like they're kind of just continuing to rise. So I would expect this guy to be at least 100, but we'll have to see there. I think the original Gohan, Beast Gohan, was like 70, 65 maybe. Him and Orange Piccolo kind of came out together. I think Orange Piccolo was like 80 and Beast Gohan was a little bit less than him. But yeah, I would expect this price of this guy to be surprisingly high for what people expect. I've seen some people guess like, oh, it'll be like $60. I don't think so. I think this is going to be... My guess would be at least 100, but we'll see. What's up, Eli? Hope you're doing well, man. Doing something a little bit different than horror stuff today. We're covering some Dragon Ball, primarily San Diego Comic-Con convention exclusives that are going to be shown off here in the next 10 minutes or so. So more on the collectible side of things today, but appreciate you jumping in and hanging out. And then, as mentioned, we have a couple of photos of those ones as well. I think this one's the same. Yeah, just the same Gohan here. Different pose here for the Vegeta. I'm curious to see, are they going to give us... I think this guy, I don't have him, but I think he came with like a small Goku in the hands and like a small Yajirobe to cut off the tail. But we'll see what all they give us accessory-wise. They don't always give us the same stuff. Oh, yeah, that definitely, that Beast Gohan. That thing will look amazing with some good lighting behind it. I need to add some of that stuff to my, you can't see it right now, but my display over to the left. But with this Vegeta, I'm not sure if they're going to give us all the same accessories, because last year when we got the Future Trunks, they took away a lot of the accessories. Like, I think they took away his Spirit Sword and his alternate hairpiece, I think it was. So you're not guaranteed to get the same accessories in these convention pieces. So we'll have to see. His may be the most interesting to see what all comes with him. Yeah, I got you, Eli. And then the last one, here's where I think people may have an interest in the King Piccolo. I think a lot of people... So the changes, I didn't really cover those, but the changes for Piccolo, I believe, are that his little arm marks are yellow instead of the traditional, like, pinkish color. This is more like the manga coloring as opposed to the anime, which had that more pink tone to it. Kind of like what we got with the superhero Piccolo compared to the original one from Dragon Ball Z. But this throne behind him, I don't think came with the original Piccolo, so I think this is going to be a big selling piece for a lot of people. And I think that may be why they feel comfortable putting this release out, because people are going to want the throne, so they're going to buy Piccolo again. If they just had him without it, I don't think he would sell nearly as well. But maybe a smart decision throwing in that accessory. And I did cover the Vegeta as far as the change, but the Gohan was probably pretty obvious, but we'll jump back to that one. But so this comes with this back piece with the aura effect, with the lightning, and then he's also more of a gloss finish to him as opposed to like the matte finish. We'll see if his he came with a special beam cannon effect, which is ironic because Piccolo never did, but we'll see if that comes with him or not, because as I said, they do sometimes take out some of the accessories. Let me we have only like 9 minutes or so. Let me quickly shift over. All right, I'll share some of the convention pieces I've got previously, and then I'll need to make sure to jump into the Bandai stuff on time. But let's see, what do I show off first? I'll share a couple. You need a Broly figure. They had the. Do you prefer Z Broly or Super Broly? Because obviously there's a difference. Like if you can kind of see, I have Super Broly down there, the like full power version of him. But Z Broly just had a somewhat re-release of like an older figure that is supposed to come out later this year. I think there's some third parties that also have done him. I mean, Broly's so popular, they're probably always going to come back to him. But let me show off first. So these two I did not get from the convention. I actually got them on Big Bad like years later. I started collecting when they did come out with these, but I didn't want to picking them up. It was kind of when the online purchasing stuff was a nightmare. But I grabbed these guys from Big Bad, which surprisingly they had. I don't really know why, but maybe some like back end stuff. Super All Day. Okay, yeah, then that's the guy to definitely consider grabbing. He's like the full power version. They have the powered down one as well. I think I reviewed him on the channel. It's one of the few Figuarts figure reviews that I actually did. But first up, I'm trying not to knock everything over because all these guys are like very, like, I don't know, wonky with their footing. We have a Whis here. So this had to have been, I guess, 2020's exclusive because it was right during the pandemic. And I probably don't have the best lighting to show him off here, but he's kind of unique in that his articulation's a little bit limited because his legs are like limited by the skirt piece. But I mean, Whis isn't really doing a lot of fighting anyway. So you just kind of have him here holding a spoon and his little staff there. And then I might probably just set him down, honestly. That same year, so we got Whis, Beerus that year, Super Saiyan God Goku, and then Nappa. So this was a cool one. As I said, this and the Whis were just available on Big Bad years later. They weren't part of, like, I didn't pick them up when they were convention pieces, but this is kind of more, I think, the manga coloring for Nappa with the lighter, I believe, but cool figure to have. He doesn't have a lot of accessories, but he's kind of like, him alone is kind of a massive piece on your shelf, so you don't really need a whole lot with him. Yeah, Battle of Gods was killer. If they wound up having a Beerus released, I would definitely grab one. All right, so I'm jumping into the exclusives that I did get from not last year's Comic-Con, but the year prior. This one was probably one of the cooler ones. So we got Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, which is... Gohan's my favorite character, and this form of him was probably one of the cooler ones. It's a little hard to probably focus. I could probably put him up close, but then you don't get a whole lot of lighting. But he has like the translucent hair. Obviously, the battle damaged a bit. And with him came the Ghost Goku. So this is the only way you could have gotten this guy. Obviously, the mold is like the same as every Goku they have, but the whole translucent version of him as a ghost. I have him normally on the shelf, kind of like, you know, with Gohan standing in front of him doing the whole like father-son Kamehameha thing. But cool shelf presence to have both those guys. It'd be nice if they gave us a Gohan that had both Super Saiyan 2 and 1. Yeah, that's a cool like combo that they had. And then we have... This guy's super bulky. So this is the Raditz version. And this one I know was the manga version. So the one that they came out with normally had darker armor. It was like the brown armor. Oh, sorry if I knock on the mic. Sorry if that was loud. But we have Raditz here. Obviously the first Saiyan to come attack Goku and the team when him and Piccolo had to team up. But I feel like I wish Raditz had a little bit more presence, but it makes sense that, you know, his time in the story was pretty brief. Kind of kicking things off with Vegeta and Nappa to come later. And, all right, I'm knocking like everything over. I'm just gonna set him down. With that Raditz came this little Gohan. He's not really, like, you can turn his head and his tail, I believe, but he's not really that articulated, so he's kind of just there to be, like, attacking Raditz. You can put him on the stand, obviously, so. That, this year, not last year, but the year before, there was a lot of, like, combo things where you had that Ghost Gohan with Goku situation. You had the Raditz with the Kid Gohan. And then I need to slide over to grab this last one. So we have Majin Vegeta. I don't know. Well, that's not picking up super well. I know my webcam actually can come like down, but I didn't really prepare for that. But you have Majin Vegeta that came out. And with him came what I mentioned, where he has the aura effect that the Beast Gohan's going to come with. That's like more of that lavender color instead of this yellow. But I normally have just Vegeta like inside of that. And you can see the lightning with like the blue. I will say if you grab this or the Beast Gohan one, be careful putting these in. Definitely like heat them up because those little pegs can easily probably break off. And just make sure you're careful with putting them in because that could be kind of a nightmare. And then finally, before we jump into the watch along, I will share, this was not an exclusive, but this is one of the exclusives this year is the Beast Gohan. So I figured why not share the original Beast Gohan. And his head's like all turned apparently. But yeah, pretty cool figure. So this guy, instead of the regular Gohan that had like the plastic clothing, this one has a little bit more rubber feel to it, so it's supposed to have more range, but I don't think it really worked that well. But he's a cool figure to have on shelf regardless. As I said, he does have the special beam cannon finger and like effect that you can use. I normally just have him like this, standing with Orange Piccolo, but definitely worthwhile to pick up if you don't have one. Yeah, the lighting on that's awful, so apologize for that. But just to get an idea of kind of what today's figure will look like in its original version. All right. We are a couple minutes away, so I should be kind of mindful here. And I'll probably mostly have them full screen and have me be smaller, kind of like this version. But we will see. They didn't have an actual like scheduled live, which is a little bit strange. It feels like, oh, it looks like now it is here. Let me just jump in then instead. I'm going to cut the music and turn off audio in case they're like playing a lot of music. But let's hop in there. Okay, nothing's playing yet. So let me grab this. Yep. Okay. That appears to be working. I do have a light filter on there. I can definitely take it off, but for now I have that on there. And then we'll switch over, as I said, to this, and we have it here as well. So I think we're pretty good to go for when they start things up. But yeah, should be starting here in a minute or so. Just figured, as I said, I'd walk through some of the previous ones to get an idea of kind of what to expect. And definitely with the Beast Gohan, you can definitely tell what that's going to look like in some capacity. Obviously adding the gloss, that aura effect that came with the Majin Vegeta. So, but yeah, we will see. We'll see how this goes. Normally these are only like an hour, like 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, it looks like we are starting up. As we're watching this, I'm going to turn the audio on here. Let me know if the audio is like too low that's annoying you. I try to keep it a little bit lower than me, but... All right, let's switch over here. We'll turn off... Yeah, we'll turn off the color source stuff for now. Try Try to get a better visual. It's like dark in that room. Not the best, but I guess it's like after hours for them. It's like 6 p.m. for them.
How you doing, Justin?
I'm fabulous, man. No complaints.
Awesome. So, of course, everyone can see in front of us. We got 3 amazing Dragon Ball exclusives.
Okay, I'm kind of blocking, so let me move myself.
I'm gonna put some more high-res photos on there. If you're on Instagram, follow Instamon.
There we go.
or Bandai Collect.
Didn't realize I was blocking Vegeta there.
But it's just so much fun to have them in front of you, tactile. So, Justin, first impressions.
Ooh, blown away. They look gorgeous. Spike.
Should I be over here, maybe?
Nation is always big on spiky, and I
Yeah,
love
we'll do that. We'll
and stuff like that.
throw that over
So,
there.
why don't you just want to jump into it?
Nothing better than real-time live tinkering.
Start in the middle.
Start in the middle. All right. AJ.
All right, man. Like,
Yeah, the video quality they're giving us isn't the greatest. Like, this is what it looks like on YouTube. This is not like a
because the shoes are also
decreased quality from my stream or anything.
He's got pearlescent shoes. And that's a fun word. Do you have pearlescent?
It feels like really washed out. It feels like their camera is not showing the colors as vibrantly.
No, 100%. I'm digging on the hair. I love the clear parts and the pearlescent vibe.
Like, this is with the filter off. Like, with on, that'd be...
Pearlescent is a fun
yeah.
one to say. I
Well,
really dig on the aura
we get the
effect.
general
I've
idea.
done this before on some of our exclusives and some of our figures.
There's too low.
What I
All right, let me turn it up a
particular aura
bit.
Is it's got like the power up tendrils, like the little purple lightning, and they're a little bit articulated to where you can kind of move it around the figure.
Let me know if
So it just makes for a
that's...
really,
It is a little
amazing
low,
piece
actually.
on
Let me
itself.
see.
And yeah, I know people have been clamoring for Beast Gohan, and now they can do Beast Gohan again. So
I think both their camera and their audio was a little bit
in
lower
person
than
looks
I
really
expected
good.
it to be.
yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be available at San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
Sherbet Pictures, let me know if this is better, if this is too loud now, or how this is.
How silly of me. Slowest moving ever. But you can see how fun this effect part is that Gohan fits so snugly into it.
See, let me grab...
And it just envelops him. It's so cool.
As I said,
so how much is
it's
Son
the
Gohan
exact
San
same thing
Diego
as this.
Comic-Con, AJ? It's a test.
90.
$90. Comes with everything. Comes with the aura effect and everything. He has 3 extra faces.
$90? They did give us a price. Kind of surprising. That's actually lower than I expected. I kind of, as I said, shot for 100.
Yeah, I think I started it with my arms crossed.
Yeah, any SH figure that has the arms crossed, that's how I post them. I remember
But I'm getting the
Back
impression they don't
then,
have the
of course,
special beam
Vegeta has a
cannon
lot
in there.
of
I think
them,
it's just
and now, of course, Son Gohan, I'll have to post him.
Gohan with
Looking
the
all cool with his
aura,
arms crossed.
which is still cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but speaking
Set
of
this over
Vegeta,
here.
my favorite character in all of Dragon Ball, AJ, come on.
I know you're as the big Vegeta guy in the room for this. I know you love it. And what I really like is this base. I like when figures come with this.
Okay, he comes with the base too. That's kind of nice. I don't know if the original one had a base.
I want them to stay still. So
I don't think it
great that
did.
It comes with this.
It has like a little
sandy,
grapple around the waist
color.
too. That's kind of cool.
I know you guys talking about-
Say the word.
You guys were saying that word ochre?
Ochre.
Okay, that's a word. That's a new color for me.
Yeah, someone from Tamashii put ochre, and we had to look it up to see how to pronounce it and B, what it meant. But it perfectly,
Earthy
matches
tone.
the earthy
I'm
tone.
I'm already seeing that Piccolo in that
Yeah,
throne too.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from obviously the size and the weight and how amazing it is, I definitely like the colors. I think it just looks beautiful. It pops.
I do like the. I mean,
Well,
this
very technical.
video quality is
Yeah,
like
it
washed
is.
out, but I do like the colors in theory of what he should look
I
like.
really appreciate the stand.
Right, because it's a beefy boy.
Right.
You think it has a base but a black one, the original Vegeta? Okay.
Yeah. So to be honest, this wasn't on my radar because I have the original, but now that I see this one and the coloring and everything like that, now I have to explain to.
That's
my
definitely
wife
the thing
why
with
they
these
have
convention
two
pieces.
graded
If you have the
pieces.
original, it's like, do I buy this one too?
Right?
I don't know if I would buy
You can't
another
have
grade
enough
if I
graded
already
pieces.
had the original.
Can't.
That's kind of a
There's
very
no rule on quantities.
There is no
two of
rule.
those on your shelf. I don't know if you need
And
that.
last but not least, over here we have Great Demon King.
Did they say the price? I
And
may have
think
been
the
talking over
standout
them.
For this is that the amazing throne it comes with. It's got the skulls on the back. It's got another skull. And
We could try if anyone has any
the
questions they
next
want me to
one
throw in. I
talk
can
about
try to
the
throw
price for
something
Great Vegeta.
into their
It's gonna
chat.
be $220 at San
See
Diego
how active their
Comic-Con.
chat
So
is.
$220 for Great Ape Vegeta, and then back to Piccolo. Piccolo.
You got
with
about 200 people, I
the,
think, watching.
With the throne, the amazing throne, and the amazing detail on him. He is going to be $100. So, AJ, what do you think? What do you think about Piccolo?
Not bad. I mean, with the throne,
throne
these
and
honestly,
the
the
way
convention
that they
pieces,
go
I feel like
up,
regular
I'm really
retail
digging
release
them.
prices
I
or like
really
P
like how
Bandai
it's
prices have been
looking.
so high.
You guys told me-
I've been
I've
like
been sold on the
jaded to
throne. We
believe
have the
everything's gonna
pictures.
be like
So right
insanely
off
high
the bat,
priced.
I may.
So we have 190, and I don't.
You know,
I
how
missed
can I get
if
this?
they talked about the.
Right, no, it's amazing.
Great Ape
So,
Vegeta
Justin, what do you
price.
think of the Great Demon King Piccolo?
Oh, I think it's great, man. That throne, that really speaks volumes, and it actually pairs nicely with the Tamashii Nation store exclusive Son Goku Innocent Challenger.
Right.
Holy smokes! Which Spoiler alert is going to be available for purchase at San Diego Comic-Con.
The Tamashii Nation store exclusive
Okay.
will be available at San Diego.
So the
That is what I'm
previous
telling
store
you, buddy.
exclusive they've had with
Don't go
Goku,
to Tamashii
you can pick up
Nation.
there. Sounds like
You
too.
can
Only in
always
person though.
journey to New York City because we love it there. It's a second home for us. But if
They
you
love to
want
pair
save
figures.
a
Obviously,
trip,
it makes you want to
certainly
buy
go to San
more.
Diego
Where it's like,
Comic-Con.
all right, have this scene, you need to have this
Beautiful
character,
weather,
but then
San
also this
Diego,
one.
And pick up the Innocent Challenger. Now's your opportunity at San Diego Comic-Con. So that's amazing. So again, just to recap, Son Gohan Beast is going to be $90.
Godzilla is not on
Grade
the
A
stage
Vegeta
anywhere
is
here,
gonna be
so I'm
$220,
curious if they're actually going
and,
to show
Great
him.
Demon King Piccolo is going to be $100 with the throne. So
That's correct.
that is pretty amazing.
And then how do people get their hands on these?
Yeah, so we're going to be using the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive portal. So veterans of San Diego Comic-Con are probably very familiar with it. If you sign
Okay,
up for
I
autograph
see in the
or
comments
exclusives
on
from
stream,
companies.
people are saying it's
So that portal's
$220
gonna
for
open up on
Vegeta.
July 7th at noon. So you're going to go to San
It's kind of high, but
So you're gonna
I
go to
didn't
the
expect
San
it to
Diego
be much
Comic-Con
less.
website,
Yeah, 8 Vegeta. Thanks,
comic-con.org.
Shipit Pictures.
You're going to go there. You're going to
220.
member ID. Anyone going to San Diego Comic-Con? should
I
have
mean,
member
that's
ID.
that's
The
not
total
higher
is
than I
74
expected. It's just
attendees
more
of San
higher
Diego
than I
Comic-Con
wanted,
have
especially since
current
that's the guy I
badge
had
for
the most
event.
interest in.
Yeah, and you're going to sign up.
I'd rather
And
them
then
have like
you're
made
signing up for access to
Piccolo and
Tamashii
Gohan
Nations,
more
so you
and
don't have
him
to
a little
sign up
less, like
for
make him 200.
Vegeta and then sign up for
But-
Gohan and then sign up for Piccolo.
Oh,
If
thank
you
goodness.
sign up, you're going to be signed up just to have access to the booth, and you can purchase all of these.
Okay, so they're talking about in-person Comic-Con if you're going,
at the booth. So,
how the
Which
process
is
works.
3329.
I assume most people here that's not overly
so
relevant
yeah, so head
towards.
on down to the Tamashii Nations. We're going to be hanging out at Tamashii
If you're
Nations,
unaware,
that's
these
kind
are
of our
likely
home
going to be
at San
on
Diego
Premium
Comic-Con.
Bandai
We just
afterwards,
love it
after
there.
the convention's
So
over
you
with.
guys
So
us there,
like
if you see us, come by and say
at the
hi.
earliest, the end of
Wave.
July
Yeah.
time period,
We're gonna do a little fishbowl.
maybe
The
early
portal- with
August.
The portal, you'll get your confirmation after the portal closes.
Correct. The portal closes
Within 72
on,
hours.
Yeah, the portal closes on July 17th, and you should be notified by San Diego Comic-Con within 72 hours with a confirmation. They'll give you like a QR code. And
With the time.
These three guys have been
time
doing
slot, and you're gonna bring
these
that with you to
announcements
our
for a
booth.
long
There'll
time.
be someone there
Seem like good
scanning to
dudes.
Make sure that you're there at the right time. And once they scan you and they authorize you, you're gonna come on in. You can purchase up to 3 of each of the exclusives.
So I can have 3 in there, 3 of that, and
You have
3
a
of
little-
those.
Who's
The
buying
little
3 Great
game
Vegeta?
of
Someone trying to
Great
flip them, I
Vegeta.
guess.
Oh,
But
man.
Just surrounding like Gohan or something like that. It is important to note that the timestamps for the portals will end
the packaging is also
in
unique
late
for
afternoon,
convention
and after that,
exclusives. You can
if
kind of
there are
tell
any
behind
properties that
them.
have not been claimed from the
But
exclusive portals,
typically
those
it's just
available
white
for
packaging with the
purchase.
character on them, but they have like
If
the
you
black
miss out
packaging with
on
like the
getting
neon
Piccolo one of
colors
the days you're gonna
for
be
convention
getting one
pieces.
of
I think they
the
look
days you're
cool.
gonna
I'm not
do,
really an inbox
just
person,
kinda
but
hover around in the late
when you're
afternoon,
putting the stuff
and,
away, it
we'll
looks
open
cool.
it up as soon as
So
we've gone through all of the reservations. So, kind of a second chance.
That's pretty good. I like
We
that.
like second chances.
We really do.
We've gotten a few second chances.
Maybe a few. So, all right. So AJ, I'm obviously gonna get all of them. If you had to just get one, what is it?
So I'm going to take this away from you. So I'm going to go straight into, haha, the Piccolo.
Oh no!
I mean, these all are kind of big ticket items. Like when you give the throne to Piccolo, that makes
Okay, I
him
will let you have
qualify as
your
that,
grade eight,
so-
and I will go with Gohan.
I think
I'm
these
very
all could
excited.
sell
I'm
pretty
glad you
well.
guys-
I'm assuming
Don't worry, you guys can all get all
the
of them.
sale
I was
order
just,
probably goes
explaining a
Beast
little
Gohan,
bit.
Grade 8 Vegeta,
I
King
think that's
Piccolo.
Yeah. So in the comments, make sure you let us know what is your favorite of the 3 Dragon Ball.
I mean, Vegeta's
exclusives.
been
Remember to
gone
follow
for the
Tamashii
longest,
and
but
Bandai Collect on
he's also the
Instagram.
most
That's gonna
expensive.
be the best way for you to get some more high-res pictures with some cool poses of these figures.
Okay.
But
And then reminder again, how much?
I assume this is going to be a
Grade 8
pretty short
Vegeta is going to
stream.
be $220.
Okay.
Yep, 220,
Gohan is going to be $90.
90,
Piccolo is
100.
going to be $100.
So you're not showing us
Available
Godzilla?
Booth 3329.
That is correct. Booth 3329. Going to go get your exclusive portal access through the Comic-Con website on July 7th, closing on July 17th. You'll be notified from Comic-Con.
I'm getting the vibe this is going to be cut short
They'll
here.
give you a day and a time slot. So when you sign up, you're going to say, hey, I'm only going to be there Thursday, so give me a Thursday time slot. And they'll give you a time slot. Come to the booth. Super duper easy.
Easy peasy.
Yeah,
like
trying to simplify things for everyone. I know everyone wants to get the Tamashii Nations exclusives, and every year it's just a mad dash to get them.
Right. And this way you can kind of plan your day around Comic-Con, right?
Yeah.
There's so many things to do, a lot of panels to go to, and lots to see. So now you just have to worry about coming at your designated time.
Yeah, so you don't have to wait in line for like 5 hours. You know?
Exactly.
I'm going at 1 o'clock.
I will say, when you buy them on
I'm gonna get my
Premium
exclusive.
Bandai, you may have to wait a
Ship them
bit.
by
Like a
earlier,
lot of
there's a lot
times
other
they
things for
won't
sale at the
ship
Tamashii
until
Nations booth you
like
can pick up, so
And we'll be
January,
there.
February.
we'll be there.
So
We'll be in a little fishbowl.
if you go in
I
person,
think
you probably
there's-
will get it
there's
much
so many
faster.
comments, like that we're missing something.
We are.
I mean, they've been such a good audience. You know, we might as well.
Is this
Why-
Godzilla?
Why don't we move the Dragon Ball stuff?
This is a reveal? Okay.
We can do that.
Glad they didn't. I mean, they did have it. They had the Godzilla picture in the
Turn off
Instagram
the,
post, so
turntable here.
it would have been silly not to include him. He does not want to knock that down so badly.
All right. You guys all saw the silhouette. Everybody knew this bad boy. was
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Tim.
I think I was right. I said a Heat Ray version of Godzilla. Somebody thought they would be battle damage, so I was like, yeah, that could be too.
I like
But
that camera
it looks like we
angle.
got Heat Ray.
Ooh.
All right, so Justin,
Oh,
Monster Arts -1 Godzilla, 2000.
I mean, that's pretty
1,
sick.
2,
I don't
3.
do the whole monster arms as I mentioned,
I
but
mean, right off the bat,
I love
the
Godzilla
color
monsters, so
is just amazing. The power up for the heat blast. You know, what can you say about such a
oh,
great
it's those
figure?
pearly whites, those amazing dorsal fins, everything about this and his feet. My goodness, loving the Godzilla feet.
He's got the big
I
feet.
He's gonna put a footprint right in your collection, and I love every bit about that.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be San Diego Comic Con.
do they have the Heat Ray piece? I assume they're going to pull that out, right?
So this will be available not only at 3329 the Tamashii.
This will probably sell
Nations,
better
also
than
be
I feel like a
available
lot of
at
times the Godzilla
booth,
pieces
which is 3345.
don't sell as well as the Dragon Ball
This one
stuff,
You don't need a reservation for. You can just
which
come
is why
by.
they normally only have like
You
one.
can pick up to 3
but
of these amazing Godzilla SH figure arts.
They also
Monster Arts,
just do
sorry.
Godzilla every year, it feels like. Like maybe they did
But
King
is
Kong
there
one time, but
anything
they don't
else
really
that
branch
you
out of
want
other
to say about
monsters in their
I
line.
think there is. Comes with a little.
Okay, he's going to show us the Heat Ray.
All right, let's. AJ
This'll be
was supposed to do
interesting.
this part. I didn't.
So,
I
give it some clear
didn't
notes.
Live demonstration here.
All right. I mean,
And you can even have it just a little bit out. You can. It's up to you how you want to display it. If you want to leave a nice little gap.
yeah.
And I assume you can probably
You
bend
play
that arm
with
to make it like a
Well, you can
downward
learn how to
attack.
Tell you how to play with your collectible.
Right. That's not for us to judge, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like
So the
that
-1 event exclusive Godzilla is going to be
that Heat Ray.
$160.
160 bucks.
At the Tamashii Nations booth, which
I mean, as I said, I
is
think the
$399,
Monster
and
Arts
the Godzilla
prices are
booth, which
pretty
is
high normally, so
$345.
160 is like it's not
You
the
don't have to get an
worst.
exclusive ticket through the raffle. The raffle is not the raffle. The reservation is only for the Dragon Ball.
I like
Godzilla is fair game.
the
You
spikes,
can
like
right.
the
Well,
coloring there
might
and
be
the
a lot
mouth,
for this
but the
No, it's
I'm
telling
a
me
little
good.
underwhelmed by
Yeah,
the Heat Ray, if I'm
no
being
part-
honest.
no part to these.
And I've been told from the side that the reservations are the only guaranteed
People are
way
not pumped
to
about
get
that price in the
our
chat,
Dragon
it
Ball
seems.
exclusives.
Absolutely.
Correct.
You're playing with fire if you decide to just chance it and like, you know, oh maybe I'll
Did you
I'll
try to
do
make a
somewhere.
Godzilla joke
There
there? You're
are
playing
daily
with fire?
allocations, and if everyone comes for the reservations, there may not be enough left over for people at the end. So
I mean, I
if you
doubt.
really want to get it, make sure that
I know
you
he's
have
trying to
a
hype these up, but I
reservation.
doubt Godzilla will
And,
sell out.
yes, I think. What are
I
we
think there's
missing, Justin?
potential for
I think
Beast
that's
Gohan
pretty
and
exciting.
Great Ape Vegeta.
It is pretty cool.
At the
again, San Diego
convention.
Comic-Con is our favorite. You know, if you go, there's a Tamashii website.
But buying these online after the fact should be
there's a link in bio. We'll put a link.
We'll
in
put
pretty
it
easy to
in the
do.
chat.
They've
We should go
streamlined
over
the
that.
process, so
Link
it's
in the
not like
chat.
crashing like it
It's
was the first time they
Tamashii
tried it.
Nations exclusive portal for San Diego Comic Con. There you can get a little more detail on the Dragon Ball.
I mean, it's pretty cool, but as I said, I think the
A
Heat
step-by-step
Ray,
on how the
I
portal
was
works.
hoping, I don't
Step-by-step
get
on
what's
how
going on
it
with
works.
the
It'll kinda give
white
you,
to
like, a
blue
visual guide
transition.
if
It
you've
doesn't
never used the
feel
portal.
like
If you've never used
natural.
it, it's super duper easy. You should
just
get
step through it.
You step right through it.
I feel like I'd almost pose him
Well,
without
there's
the
a
Heat
process.
Ray,
You
which is
should
kind
get
of
an open
unfortunate because that's kind of the
Comic-Con
point of
button
him.
when the portal is open, but just in case you don't, maybe the day before, look on the Comic-Con website for where the portal will be. That way you can bypass some people who don't know where they're going.
And it's quite possible that at what it was said July 7th at noon Pacific, don't be discouraged if all of a sudden you just can't get in, or the whole world's trying to get in at that time. It is open for several days. You know, just be patient and you'll get in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, just keep refreshing that page. I mean, anyone who's going to Comic-Con who's bought badges or gone through the hotel process, you're very aware that everyone is doing it at the same time. So just be patient. If you're going all 4 days, all 5 days counting preview night.
Yeah, they don't normally tell you
pace-
too much about the
pace yourself.
online
You
stuff
won't
until
try to go
after.
Sunday
They're like,
like
hey, you have to
every
buy it at the
day
convention because they want
so
to
if you
encourage
have a
people to buy it
reservation,
there.
we will have a figure for you.
But then
So
after
if
the
Sunday's a
convention,
slow day and you wanna
they'll
catch
probably
up
have a
on
live
Sunday,
stream
you
like
got-
this
you
where they're
got a
like,
guy like us who just wanna get
hey
out of the
guys,
way,
figures
you'll
are coming
sign on
out.
Thursday.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll
I
just
like
post it. That's what they did
Yeah, 'cause
2 years
then
ago when I
the
got the
panels,
ones I
you know,
shared.
frees you up. Then you
They
need
just
a
kind of
budget
like
for
shadow
the
dropped them.
Tamashii stuff you can
Are you gonna be eating that
But
night?
historically, I
so
feel like they've done
calendar
like an
and
announcement stream.
Sure, whatever
to let
else
us
Tamashii
know.
Nations is gonna surprise us with at San Diego Comic-Con.
100%. There's a lot.
But
of
I wouldn't
surprises.
bank on that
A lot of
because, as I
people
said,
love
it's not
the
a
surprise and
guarantee,
delight,
it seems
and
like.
I think you're going to be very excited.
Yeah, and then San Diego Comic-Con is July 24th through the 27th, with the 23rd being preview night. So make sure you come by, come say hi to us, tell us how much you love Tamashii Nations. Let us know in the chat what's your favorite Tamashii Nation exclusive, including the Godzilla one, if that was your favorite.
It's gorgeous.
But yeah, anything else from the couch?
Yes, actually.
All right.
The link does tell you how to purchase.
Yeah,
so
like
there's a
the
step-by-step
white
guide.
part coming out of his mouth just
So,
looks
yeah,
like
so-
it's
so
like
if you go to the
toilet
Tamashii
paper
web,
wound up or
link
something.
that,
It doesn't
Kevin
look
put
great
on
to
the
me.
website- on the screen. It also should be in the chat of each of the individual platforms that we're streaming on.
But I feel like, I mean, the rest of him is just kind of standard Godzilla -1, but I like that aesthetic to Godzilla probably the most. The movie was the best, but I also like that look for him probably the most.
Collect across all the platforms. Actually,
I kind of feel like the Warner Brothers movies, they make him look a little bit too much like a bear
That's where we'll
instead of a
post more
lizard.
high-res photos as it gets closer to the event. If we have any kind of other videos or anything that we'll be posting, news announcements, that's the best place to keep up with Tamashii Nations is either Instamashii on Instagram or Bandai Collect across all of the social platforms.
So shout out to OB and Reno.
Yeah, OB and Reno, modern the chat from Japan, holding it down. So we love those guys, and hopefully they'll love us back.
No.
I need it.
I don't think they're really taking questions today. Maybe they will at the end. Normally they are a little bit more interactive with the chat.
Absolutely. So we hope to see you at San Diego Comic-Con later on in July. Make sure on July 7th you sign up for the portal. So
Also, the music may blare at the end of this, so I'm probably going to have to just try to kill it really fast.
3329. Godzilla will be at booth 3329, and
because I think they have like outro music that they play.
Godzilla-centric booth. So Godzilla fans, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. We've seen the renderings, and it's going to blow you away.
Yes.
If you came last year,
That's the other thing. Comic-Con has like reveals for figures that are not going to be available right then and there, but they have like announcements like saying, "Hey, later this year, we're telling you now that X figure is coming out." So looking forward to those too. Like we need a new cell, in my opinion, like a perfect cell.
Follow Instamashii and Bandai Collect across all social platforms. And until next time, talk to you later.
Thanks.
All right, I'm gonna mute that now because as I said, it's gonna play music. I think here. Yep. All right. Well, that kind of recaps. It was pretty short. I mean, I thought it'd be like 30 minutes to an hour. I don't even know if we went that long. Let me take them off the screen here. So yeah, I mean, kind of cool stuff seeing them actually in the flesh. As I said, the video quality was a little bit weaker than I feel like they normally have, but it seemed like a bit of a like thrown together setup, which is fine. It was cool to see them actually in the flesh. Like the throne looked cool. It was nice to see that. Cool to see the Grade 8 Vegeta with like the stand behind him. And then the Beast Gohan, as I said, kind of looks like it's exactly this. I mean, you can mostly replicate what that figure is going to be by just putting like a combination of these two. Like if you put Beast Gohan, just pretend like the aura effect is lavender or like purplish. That's pretty much what they're doing. So definitely easy reuse for them, but they do it in a way that's still cool to pick up. So, but yeah, so that's kind of what we expected. I don't think there was anything too surprising. The price points were more reasonable than I expected. But the Godzilla was 160, Grade 8 Vegeta was 220, Beast Gohan I think was 90, and the Piccolo was 100. So I mean, the Beast Gohan was a little bit less than I thought he would be. The Grade 8 Vegeta, he was kind of around what I thought he should be. I was thinking that 200 to 250. But as I said, the Guru came out as like 310, so you never fully know. But Piccolo, I hadn't really considered what he would be. I think the original release, he's discounted. I feel like I see him for like $50 a lot of times. But with the throne inclusion, I think it kind of makes sense to be around 100. That's not unreasonable. Yeah, we'll just kind of recap too, showing the photos once again. So let's slide over here. Honestly, these pictures are better images than what we got with the live video, but that's all right still. So we have the Beast Gohan coming in at $90. He's one I'm like 50-50 on. I think if you don't have Beast Gohan and you enjoy Dragon Ball, like Superhero the movie, I would definitely grab this guy. He's a cool figure. As I said, I don't know if I love I think this guy's going to still have the rubbery plastic on his torso. I don't love that as much as the hard plastic because I feel like the intent was to make it more like flexible so we can actually like cross his arms and stuff, but I don't feel like it really works as that. But aesthetically, he's awesome, so I would definitely pick him up. It did not seem like we got really shown any accessories. So that's where I'm curious to see what extras are really there. I mean, they didn't even show us like alternate faceplates or hands or anything like that, so I'm not sure. There's got to be more than just what they had out there on display because Gohan's not going to just come with two fists. Like, he's going to have some alternate hands, but they didn't share any of that, surprisingly. I would not expect him to have the special beam cannon, though, based off of the price and the fact they didn't wind up showing it to us. But I assume he's going to have alternate hands and maybe faceplates as well. The Grade 8 Vegeta, I'm not sure if he's going to include the small stuff, like the little Goku and the Yajirobe. I'm assuming probably not. But there's not a whole lot, I guess, you would throw in if you didn't have those, though. Like, I mean, you have his hands like he has it with like the Goku, but the fact they didn't show it to us, I would not expect it until proven otherwise. As far as like my interest level, and here's obviously the Piccolo. So we have, yeah, we're gonna have a variety of hands and faces. They just, for some reason, they didn't show us the extra accessories. Maybe they're not ready yet. Who knows? But I imagine we'll get photos of those maybe sometime before Comic-Con. At the very least, we'll find out in what, 3 or 4 weeks when Comic-Con actually happens. Yeah, I'm thinking there's no way they're gonna give Gohan the special beam cannon. Like, they're gonna have other accessories, but that's not one I expect. I'm pretty sure I would just expect alternate hands and faces, and that pretty much be it. But it's weird they didn't show us those. But I thought the throne looked really cool in person. That's obviously kind of a new piece for this character. And the obviously we don't have the photo of him, but the Godzilla -1. I thought the reason I thought heat ray instead of battle damage was you have him with the blue around him as far as like the outline. So I was like, it's kind of hinting him powering up. So he looked overall cool, but I hated the heat ray for the most part. Like, I don't know. What did you guys think? Did you think it looked good? I kind of thought it looked a little weak, but maybe that could have been just how it was shown on their camera setup. The photos are already uploaded on Instagram. Really? Let me see. I can try to check those real quick. Aside from the price of seeing the figs in person, they didn't show. Yeah, they really didn't. Like, they just had them all on display. There wasn't really any moving around. Like, in years past, they would move them around and like answer questions. Like, somebody normally would be like, "Hey, can I see Grade 8 Vegeta in this pose?" And then they'll like do it. It was kind of more just like a one-sided conversation. They really didn't need to have a live stream. Like, maybe that was even pre-recorded. Who knows? Probably not, because they did have the chat thrown in there with the Instamashii stuff. But the way it was presented could have been just like a video instead of a live stream. All the figures come with less accessories. That's not great. Let me see if I can pull up what you're talking about. All right, so we're going to pop this over here maybe. Okay, so we should have the Instagram stuff looking normal here. I'll try to keep an eye on it. But we have obviously some better photos than what we had probably in the video. We have the Godzilla -1 Godzilla here. Here's, honestly, I would debate posing him kind of like this, with just without the heat ray, just kind of roaring or charging up a heat ray almost, instead of actually having the physical object there. All right, let's switch over. Okay, yeah, this seems to be working fine. So we have, like, this almost looks exactly like the statue I have. Like, I would share it, but it'd be a nightmare to grab it. But this looks the exact pose of the Godzilla. I like the blue eyes. Hopefully that's like painted well, because I could see that easily being like poorly painted. And the mouth, like, I don't want him to look like he just ate a bunch of blue Fun Dip. Hopefully it does look that well, with like the tongue and the teeth being just lit up. The spikes look awesome. The spikes are like very, like that pearlescent, almost blue. Almost looks like crystals on his back. But I would just put him like this, probably. Okay, we have the heat ray here. It looks a little better here. I think this is a better way to have it as well. Like, as I mentioned during the live, having him do it where he's like firing down at something is better than just straight in the air. It's still like this part from his mouth. Like, the white doesn't look that good though. I think the blue looks fine, but the white looks a little bit goofy. Okay, just a standard pose here. Nothing really to call out. You see his, I guess, like spiked dorsal fin stuff a little bit better. This is kind of how they had him posed. It was a little higher, obviously, but yeah, I don't think I like that heat ray. What do you guys think? Do you think, am I like over analyzing this too much? But it feels like, as I said, it just looks like if you just rolled up toilet paper almost, or something like that. Something like tissue or something white, and you just stuck it out of his mouth. But it's not bad overall. I just don't know if I would use the heat ray. All right, let's look at the other ones we got here. So let's look at Piccolo. All right, so definitely some more photos of him here, looking like maniacal face. I feel like whenever I saw Piccolo actually on, like with these pictures, I never really noticed his pupils were like that small and like visible. I always just felt like you just had like just white eyes, but he's obviously like grabbing, I don't know, Goku or something here. Is he doing like a special beam cannon or something? He does have, I like this faceplate with like the red. It's almost like my channel logo with like the red in his eyes, like the veins popping out. I haven't read or watched Dragon Ball a long time, so I'm assuming this is probably one of King Piccolo's poses. Okay, yeah, coming down at Goku here. His back leg looks like twisted up. Okay, we saw this photo already. And as usual, they're giving us a comparison. If you want to have him with Goku fighting, here's what you would do. I like that face with the little smirk. I feel like that is very King Piccolo. And then just him on the throne. So, yeah, kind of what I said. We have him with his throne. And then beyond that, we just have hands and faceplates. But there's some decent ones. Like the faces I do like. Like this one is super cool. So not bad, but they do kind of strip down. They've been doing that lately with kind of stripping down the convention pieces, which is strange. All right, we got grade 8 Vegeta. This looks great. Honestly, I may wind up grabbing this guy. I know you mentioned he's pretty bare bones, but I like this cool looking pose. I mean, the head looks kind of plasticky, which obviously it is, but other than that, I think it looks good. The lighting may be kind of playing tricks because I do feel like the grade 8 Vegeta, historically, the white chest plate just looked like bare white. And like these scratches, why don't you have like some like brown paint in there or some black paint in there, some red paint in there, something implying more battle damage? And I get it's probably two reasons. One, it's a lot more work, but then two, they may not want to be doing as much like blood. I feel like Dragon Ball in general is kind of steered away from that as time has gone on. But cool looking figure still regardless. All right, him just punching down at something. So what do we got here so far? We got the fists. We got a finger hand as well. Okay, we got the grabbing hands. Pretty standard release of hands here. Okay, we saw this photo. So we have a different headpiece there. Obviously, the one with his eye that's been slashed by... that's been blasted. I always like mix up Yajirobe slashing his tail off, but I think it's been blasted there. When, was it Goku that blasted him in the eye? He's like holding onto him. Okay, I love these photos because it tells you everything in there. You don't have to question, like, I don't know what I really saw. But this is pretty bare bones, I will agree. So you have, obviously, Grade 8 himself. You have the regular coming out of the package fist hands. You have the stand, which is cool. I think somebody mentioned, I think Sherbert, you mentioned that it may have come with the black one before, but obviously they're going with a more of a gold-ish color one with this. Then we do have the two grabbing hands. We have the one hand with the finger. Okay, it's not a whole new head. It's just actually, I'm assuming that's how they did it on the prior release. We just have not even the full face, just the top half of the face. So like this part you would pull off and insert that. What is the little tiny thing there? Did we see anything? Like, what is that? Does anyone know what this is? Is this maybe like his tail cut off? And you can take the tail off and still just have like a little like stub of a tail? That's all I can really think that this would be. Like, as if his tail got cut off. But yeah, they really kind of stripped him down with the extra little accessories. Like, ironically, when I'm thinking of Raditz, the cut tail, okay, yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Ironically, you had like the Raditz a couple of years ago that had the Kid Gohan that I shared, which like an extra little, like almost like a statue that gets included. Or like Tien, who came with Chaozu that way. So I feel like they kind of do that with these like extra or like newer versions that come out. They kind of did the opposite of that with this guy. They took away his statues. They took away the, as I said, I think he had a Goku that he would hold on to, then a small Yajirobe to cut his tail off. Obviously, the scaling is kind of weird anyway, though, because this guy's not, you know, 1-for-1 if you put him on a shelf next to, you know, regular Goku or something. So it's a little bit hard to do that to make it look normal anyway. But kind of bummed they took that stuff out. It was kind of a fun way to make him more interactive. This is relatively bare bones as far as his stuff, but I mean, you're getting what you want. You're getting the great ape, but you're definitely missing out on some of the stuff. I'm not a fan of them pulling out accessories unless, I don't know, maybe they felt like people didn't care for those and they want to cut down on cost for the customer, maybe. All right, then the last one we'll look at is the Beast Gohan. Okay, so they're giving us the crossed arms that came with the original, which is a nightmare to put on. I feel like when I did that when I first got the figure, I almost like broke the arms off because putting on the crossed arms is a challenge in general. But this guy, for some reason, had a big issue with it. Definitely one, if you're going to do this, I would say, I don't know, maybe heat it up, do something where it's like a little bit easier to get on. The gloss is decent. I mean, if you have the aura effect behind him, it makes sense to have him be like shining like he's powering up or something. The shoes being glossy is a little weird, maybe. They're kind of doing what they did with Trunks and making him all glossy. Is the hair also glossier? I'm trying to tell the difference here. I think so. I think it's a little, especially near the scalp of his head. It feels like it's got that pearlescent, like purple almost. All right, what else we got here? All right, just a kicking pose. So just some variety of hands and a faceplate. Okay. So we have the special beam cannon regular hand, but probably not the one that comes with the special beam cannon. Pretty generic pose, martial arts hands, fist. And then the photo we've seen of him powering up in front of the aura. So not really a whole lot with him either. Once again, they took out the unique part of him having the special beam cannon, but him being 90, I kind of assumed that would be the case. Like, you're already throwing this in. Like, let's say he's, I don't know, 60-ish. You throw this in there. Yeah, it's a little bummer that they took out some of the extra pieces for him, but I think if you wanted to Beast Gohan, this one is still fine. I mean, when I pose the one I have, I don't even have the special beam cannon, as I said. So, not a requirement, just kind of a cool addition to have, though. But yeah, that's kind of the overview. Thanks for letting me know that that was posted on Instagram. I think of those ones, if I was ranking, well, I guess it depends. If I'm ranking them how I want them versus like if I didn't have any, it probably is a different answer. The Godzilla is probably the least intriguing to me because, I mean, getting one off of a Godzilla, granted it's -1, so you don't really need any extra monsters if you're just getting that. But I think if you got the original release, it's not really something overly worthwhile. But if I'm ranking them, maybe I'll go something like, for my personal list, I'll probably go like Great Ape, Beast, Piccolo, Godzilla. But yeah, that's kind of overall my thoughts on the reveals that we got in the showings of the actual figures. It's kind of cool they put out that post of the photos at the same time because it was hard to see some of the images from the video. And they didn't spend a whole lot of time like moving them around per se, other than putting like the Godzilla heat ray in his mouth. But yeah, as far as my thoughts, I debate picking up the Great Ape because I don't have one, and I always thought he was kind of cool, and aftermarket prices were a bit crazy. 220 is kind of still a decent amount, but it's about what I expected still. So I may pick him up. I don't think I'll pick up the Beast Gohan because I have the original. I was debating it because he is a little bit different, but it's really just the aura effect. Obviously, he's a little shinier, but I don't think that's necessarily like a big value add. So if you don't have Beast Gohan, I would say probably grab him. But if you do already, I think you can probably skip it. And then the Piccolo daimao, or the King Piccolo from original Dragon Ball. I'm probably not going to pick him up because I don't have any original Dragon Ball figures. I've kind of stuck to Z, and I've done some Super and some GT as well. but I haven't gone down like the original Dragon Ball line. They also don't support it a whole lot, unfortunately. I think they probably assume it doesn't sell as well, so they haven't done like when's the last original Dragon Ball character they did? They obviously did like the Kid Goku, but beyond that, like for the store exclusive Kid Goku, beyond that, I don't think they've done a OG Dragon Ball release in a while. Last one may have been like Bulma or something. Launch maybe. So I don't think I'm going to grab him, but I think the extra inclusion of the throne is definitely going to incentivize a lot of people to pick him up, even if they have the original one, because that's kind of a big value add difference. Like him being a different color is what you expect in a convention piece, but when you throw in the extra accessory too, like they've done it a lot more recently. Like last year when they had the Goku with the Nimbus and the Gohan, like those were things. I guess we've had a Nimbus before, but those are largely things we haven't had previously. So they've been kind of stretching the definition of convention exclusive as far as just being like a paint variant and adding extra pieces to it. But they're still doing characters we've gotten already, so not too extreme. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts. Anybody in chat, what are you planning to pick up potentially? As I said, I think the only one of the 4 that I have a potential to grab is Vegeta. I think all 4 of them are cool though. I just don't have a reason to pick up the other 3. As I said, I don't do monster arts. I kind of just stuck with the Godzilla -1 statue that I do have back there. And OG Dragon Ball I haven't gone down, and then Beast Gohan I have already. So by default, that kind of leaves Great Ape as the one I would consider the most. But as I said, they all look cool, so I wouldn't blame anybody for grabbing any of them. But yeah, I think that wraps up things for the most part today. As I said, thanks for letting me know to check Instagram for seeing the better photos, because that was kind of a last minute thing to check out. All right. But I think we'll probably call it there. Not too long of a stream today, just kind of checking out the reveals. Appreciate anyone hopping in. Obviously, a little bit different of a live stream than I've done traditionally, as I mentioned. Not anything gaming today, not anything like talking movies or shows. Going more down the collectible routes. So appreciate anyone hopping in and hanging out for that. And hanging out on the channel despite me kind of covering a bunch of different stuff. Super grateful for you guys chilling with me. So yeah, I think we will call it on that. And let me cut off the audio there. So I think we'll call it there. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And as I said, I'll probably do a video on the exclusive, so keep an eye out for that. And if we get more information, we kind of got most of it today. I mean, we were shown the photos with all the accessories. We were shown the price, so not a whole lot more to find out. I'll try my best to make a post on the channel when they become available on Premium Bandai, so keep an eye out for that, I guess. But I would typically expect after Comic-Con, like Sunday evening, from then on, it's a potential they just drop at any point. But I don't think we'll have an issue with supply. Like if you want it, you should be able to grab it within like a day or so of them coming out. So shouldn't be a major issue there. But yeah, appreciate everyone hanging out for a bit, stopping in. And other than that, I will hopefully catch you next time. Take it easy, guys.